Good afternoon, y'all. Hope you're doing okay. I'm going to start with some algebra. Unless there's any other questions for pre-algebra about line of best fit. I was going to work on this for a little bit because I feel like the independent practice might be throwing some of y'all off, or I'm sorry, the guided practice. So I was going to go through at least the first 6 problems just to show you how to do those. And then if we have any questions for the last 4, I can go through those as well, and then maybe a few IXL problems, but let's see how far we get today. So I'm going to start with number 1, with n squared plus 5n minus 50 divided by n minus 5. And I've already got written down at least the first 6. So if you wanted to set this up, we're going to write it out like this. And I should probably bring that down just a little bit. I'm sorry, I'll just... n squared plus 5n minus 50. And then remember, so when we're dividing, we need to see what do we need to multiply our divisor by to get to the first term, the highest degree. So if I wanted to go from n, how would I get to n squared? I'd have to multiply by n. So n times n is going to be n squared, and n times negative 5 is going to be negative 5n. So we're going to subtract that away. N squared minus n is going to be 0. And then, so that cancels out. In fact, I'll just show that real quick. So this cancels out. And then we have positive 5n minus negative 5. So this is a double negative. So this double negative, oh, can you not see that at all? No, you can't. I can't even. Bruh. Okay, give me 1 second. Do that for right now. So positive 5n minus negative 5n, so this is a double negative, so it makes it a positive, so that cancels out. I'm sorry, so that it's going to be adding a 5n, so 5n plus 5n is going to be 10n. 10n. And then bring down what we haven't touched yet, so minus 50. And then we need to ask again, what do we need to multiply n by to get to 10n? Well, we're going to multiply that by positive 10. So 10 times n is going to be 10n. 10 times negative 5 is to be negative 50. And then we're going to subtract that away. So if I take this value, this polynomial, and I subtract the exact same thing away from it, it's just going to cancel out. So we're not going to have anything left because 10n minus 10n, 0. Negative 50 minus negative 50, so positive 50 minus 50 would give us 0. So we don't have a remainder. So then my answer would be just n plus 10. And remember, if you wanted to check that, you would take your answer and multiply it by your divisor. So n minus 5 times n plus 10, just to see if we get the same answer. So let's do that real quick over here to the left. So n minus 5, that was our divisor, times n plus 10, that was the answer we got. N times n, if we're going to do FOIL, remember first, outer, or outside, inside or inner, last. So first, n times n squared, outer, n times positive 10, positive 10n, inner, negative 5 times n, negative 5n, and then last, negative 5 times 10, negative 50. Simplify. So the only thing that has the same degree that we can combine is right here, 10n minus 5n, which leaves us with 5n minus 50. And does this match up to this? It does, so our check was good. This is a check, just as a reference. So our check was good, so that means then our answer is good. So I'm going to just scoot this down just a little bit. So I'm going to write this next one to set this up. I'm just going to scoot over. So if I wanted to write this next problem out with division, we're going to have n minus 2. We're going to divide from 6n squared minus 4n minus 16. So what can I multiply n by to get 6n squared? We're going to multiply by 6n. 6n times n will be 6n squared. 6n times negative 2 is going to be negative 12n. We're going to take away 6n squared minus 6n squared, 0. Negative 4n minus negative 12n, so negative 4n plus 12n will give us positive 8n minus 16. And then what do I need to multiply n by to get to 8n? We're going to multiply by positive 8. 8 times n, 8n. 8 times negative 2, negative 16. Subtract 8n minus 8n, 0. Negative 16 minus negative 16, so negative 16 plus 16 is going to just give us 0, so 0, 0, just 0. So this should be our answer. And again, if you wanted to check, you'll take what our divisor was, so this n minus 2, and multiply it by our answer. So let's do that real quick. This is our check. That is too light. So we take what we divided by and multiply what our answer was, and we're going to use FOIL. First, outer, inside, or inner. Last. First, n times 6n. 6n squared. Outer, n times 8. 8n. Inner, negative 2 times positive 6n. Negative 12n. Negative 2, and then last, negative 2 times 8. Negative 16. Combine, or simplify, 6n squared. Positive 8n minus 12n is negative 4n, and negative 16. Does this match to what we were dividing? It does, so our check is good, so our answer is good. Alright, so I'm going to work on the next one. So we have x plus 3, 3x cubed plus 5x squared minus 11x plus 3. So what can I multiply x by to get to 3x cubed? Well, I'm going to multiply that by 3x squared. 3x squared times x is going to be 3x cubed. 3x squared times 3 is going to be 9x squared, and then we're going to subtract. Subtract it. And 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is canceled, so it's 0. 5x squared minus 9x squared is going to be negative 4x squared. Bring down the next piece, so negative 11x. I would go ahead and just bring the whole thing down, plus 3. And then what do we need to multiply x by to get to negative 4x squared? We're going to multiply that by negative 4x. Negative 4x times x, negative 4x squared. Negative 4x times 3, negative 12x. And we're going to subtract negative 4x minus negative 4x, 0. Negative 11x plus 12x, because that's a double negative, so subtracting a negative is just like adding a positive, so negative 11 plus 12 is just going to be positive x, and bring down the rest. What do we have to multiply x plus 3 to get x plus 3? Well, that's easy for us, that's just plus 1. Just multiply it by 1, get the same thing. Subtract. No remainder, so this is our answer. Now if you want to do a check real quick, x plus 3, what was our divisor, times our answer. X times 3x squared, 3x cubed. X times negative 4x is negative 4x squared. X times 1, positive x. 3 times 3x squared is going to be positive 9x squared. 3 times negative 4x is going to be negative 12x. And 3 times 1 is just going to be positive 3. Combine our like terms, or simplify this so that everything is in standard form with the highest degree first, so 3x cubed. We have a negative 4x squared and a 9x squared. So we combine those and you get positive 5x squared. Then you have an x and a negative 12x. So x minus 12x is going to be negative 11x. And then plus 3, does this match up to what we were dividing from? And we were, so this is good. So our answer is good. All right, I'm going to go to the next page. All right, so let's set it up. So we got x plus 4. We're going to divide from 7x squared plus 19x minus 36. So what can I multiply x by to get 7x squared? Well, I can multiply 7x, multiply x times 7x, you get 7x squared. Multiply 7x by 4 and you'll get positive 28x. Subtract. 7x minus 7x cancels. 19 minus 28 is going to be negative 9x, I'm sorry, negative 9x, and minus 36. And then what can I multiply x by to get negative 9x? You can multiply by negative 9. Negative 9 times x, negative 9x. Negative 9 times 4, negative 36. Subtract. Cancel, cancel, so we're left with nothing for the remainder. And this is our answer. Alright, and again, just to check real quick. X plus 4 times 7x minus 9. FOIL first, that's 7x squared. Outer, negative 9x. Inner, 28x. Last, and then simplify. This matches up with our what we divided from, so our check is good, so that means our answer is good. Right, 2 more. All right, so 2t plus 1, and we're going to divide from 8t squared plus 14t plus 8. What can I multiply 2t to get to 8t squared? Well, I can multiply 4t. 4t times 2t is 8t squared. 4t times 1 is positive 4t. And subtract. I subtract, and I'm left with 10t plus 8. And then what can I multiply 2t by? To get to 10t, I can multiply by 5. 5 times 2t is 10t. 5 times 1 is positive 5. So we're going to subtract this. This time we are going to be left with a remainder, so we're left with 3. And to show you the remainder, you tack it on the end, so you're going to write plus 3 over 2t plus 1. So you'll have a fraction at the end. This would be your answer. Now when you're ready to check for this one, you take your divisor, so 2t plus 1, and you're going to multiply it by everything but the remainder, so 4t plus 5, because you'll add the remainder at the end. So 2t times 4t, 8t squared, so we're foiling. Outer 2t times 5 is 10t, inner 4t, and out last 5. Simplify. You're like, oh, Mr. Parker, this doesn't match up. Well, the reason for that is we need to add our remainder at the end, which was just the 3, so add 3. And now it matches up, so we're good to go. That looks awful, so I'm going to fix that. I'm also going to scooch up just a little bit on this so I can write a little bit better. So now our answer is good to go. And the check is good, so that means then our answer is good. And this was our check. Sorry I didn't label that sooner. All right, one more. So we got x minus 2, and we're using that to divide into 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 9x minus 2. Should be problem number 6. So then what can we multiply x by to get to 2x cubed? You can multiply by 2x squared. 2x squared times x is going to be 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 2 is going to be negative 4x squared. We're going to subtract. 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. Negative 8x minus negative 4, so negative 8 plus 4 is going to be negative 4x squared. Bring down the rest. What can I multiply x by to get to negative 4x squared? You can multiply by negative 4x. Multiply. Negative 4 times negative 2 is going to be positive 8x. Subtract. These cancel. And 9 minus 8 is going to be just 1x minus 2. And again, this is one where we're going to be left with just the same thing, so we're going to multiply by 1 to get x minus 2. Subtract. And no remainder. So this would be a good check to do real quick. You're going to take your divisor, multiply it by your answer, and see if it matches up. X times 2x squared, 2x cubed, x times negative 4x, negative 4x squared, x times 1, positive x, negative 2 times 2x squared, negative 4x squared, negative 2 times negative 4x, positive 8x, and negative 2 times 1, negative 2. Simplify, so we only have 1 of the third degree, that's 2x cubed. We have 2 degrees, that's negative 4x, that's, I'm sorry, x squared and negative 4x squared, so that's negative 8x squared. Then we have a first degree, so x plus 8x, positive 9x, and then negative 2. So does this match up to what we were dividing from? It does. So our answer is good. So our final answer would be 2x squared minus 4x plus 1. So hopefully that helped with the guided practice. If you have any questions, you can email me, unless anybody has any questions now. And if not, I will talk to you all later, and hope you're doing well, and I miss y'all, and have a good rest of your day.